Good evening, everyone. My name is Nate Gilbert, and I work at the University of Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm happy that you took a few moments to stop by this presentation this evening. Um, what I'm going to be covering today is 4 reasons to schedule a campus visit at the University of Louisville. A little bit more about me. I'm an admissions counselor here. I travel around the state working to get the best and brightest students here to the University of Louisville, and then also throughout the year we work with families throughout the enrollment and admissions process. Our main audience today are juniors. We invited a lot of juniors to this event. However, if you happen to come across this webcast at a later date, or if you're joining us today, some of the information will still be relevant to you, so I encourage you to join us. All right, we're going to go on and move on. All right, a little bit of an overview for what we're going to cover over the next 30 minutes or so. First of all, I'm going to give you the the framework that our offices here on campus, and especially admissions, what we work from, because that's very relevant to the next 4 points below that. After that, after we're going to talk a little bit about the city, campus, academics, some other things, some reasons to consider visiting the University of Louisville as a potential place to do your college work. After that, we've got a few alumni who have joined us that are going to share some of their experiences and perspective on what it was like being a Cardinal and the things they most enjoyed and how that helped them in their future plans or future careers. Finally, we'll wrap things up, of course, with how to schedule a visit, and then we'll take some questions. Okay, so let's keep moving along here. All right, so our goal here at the University of Louisville is to bring students in, freshman year, have them retain freshman to sophomore, sophomore to junior, junior to senior, and of course go on and graduate. And as you can see, a couple of pictures from I believe that was our December commencement. A really exciting day for everyone here at the university, and especially the students who have put a lot of hard work in over the past 3 or 4 years. Now, as far as our specific goal goes, you can see there that our goal is to provide every resource students may need in order to holistically thrive and achieve success during their journey to commencement. Now, many times, I know when I'm working with students who are high school students, when they think of support services at colleges, they really only think about the academic component of things. Really, here at the University of Louisville, we're committed to the whole student, so we have resources in place for the health and wellness of students, for mental health, the academic support, extracurricular support and activities. So we believe that this holistic approach of supporting the entire student and the entire person makes the student portion even that much better and provides a much richer academic experience. So moving on from our goal, we're going to get in now to the 4 specific reasons why I think you should consider the University of Louisville in your college choices, and then also consider setting up a campus visit with us. The first point I want to make and bring up is the city of Louisville. Okay, U of L is located in the city of Louisville, and it is a really, really neat, thriving, and growing city. There are dozens of notable businesses here. Some examples: Ford has a couple of plants here. General Electric, Humana, UPS. Their World Airport hub is here. Yum Brands, Papa John's Pizza. Those are just a couple of the big players as far as employers go here in the city. But aside from that, we have a large and very diverse education system, which is great for education students and students interested in nonprofit work. Then a step further, we also have a great art and music community, and then also a really exciting restaurant renaissance going on. It seems like every month there's a new place around town that opens up. where students and local Louisvillians can go and dine and really enjoy themselves. Something else that the city of Louisville is known for nationally is our festivals, and we have a great park system. Many of those parks are within just a couple miles of campus, so that's something that students regularly take advantage of and escape to. As far as festivals go, there's a music festival called Forecastle that happens every couple of years. Of course, we have the Kentucky Derby Festival. There are a couple of other festivals around music and food that go on in town that are really a lot of fun, and our students enjoy. You'll see at the very first point, or right next to the number 1 up top, it says Louisville equals Possibility City. I encourage you, if you aren't familiar with the city of Louisville, to hop online and do a quick search, and I'm sure you will see this slogan pop up. And we found that this to be true for our students, and then also our folks that live here in Louisville or decide to stay here, that whether it's in business, in personal endeavors, in social aspects, anything is possible here in Louisville, and you've got a lot of great people here to support you. So that's the first reason why we think you should consider the University of Louisville is because of the community that we're in. Moving on from there, the second point we're going to talk about is the campus component. Okay, because this is primarily where students are going to spend the majority of their time, of course, in classes and doing other things. They're likely going to live here. But it is remarkable the amount of change that's happened on our campus in the past 10 to 12, 15 years. As you can see, we have a lot of things going on our campus. Boredom it's literally impossible. If you can't find something to do, you probably aren't looking, well, really at all. There are events that happen weekly and daily in residence halls across campus. As you can see, there are more than 400 student organizations. A lot of times when we mention this, it's tough for students to get a feel for exactly what that means. But we have student organizations that cover pretty much anything that you've been involved in high school, plus anything else that you could possibly be interested in, ranging from bass fishing to Harry Potter to faith-based groups. There's more than 30 faith-based groups, community service-based groups. There's groups based around every academic major. So really a lot of different ways for students to get plugged in and involved. In fact, every year our Dean of Students, he gives kind of an introduction speech at freshman orientation. And he cites that there's research that shows students who are involved outside the classroom, students who get engaged with intramural sports or Greek life or student government or a faith-based group, they are far more likely to have a fulfilling college experience. Their grade point averages are higher on average, their retention rates are higher, their graduation rates are higher. So that's something that we encourage here at the University of Louisville. And there's tons of wonderful staff members to help facilitate that process. Going on from there, we've had a pretty remarkable change over the past 10 to 15 years in the number of students we have living on our campus, and that's something that's changed the physical appearance of our campus as well. The picture that's in the background of this slide is one of the buildings on campus. It's a little bit blurry, but you can see some scaffolding there, and I chose that picture because I think it represents that there's growth and there's change happening here at the University of Louisville, whether that's in the quality of our students or in physical buildings that are being built. A prime example of this is new residence halls that have come to campus or been built on campus in the past several years, new dining establishments, but I'd say probably the most exciting one and most visible if someone were to visit our campus who hadn't been here in 15 years, or ever for that matter, something that they would notice that was pretty impressive is our new student recreation center. And I think the neatest part of this, aside from all the bells and whistles that it has and space for students to exercise, is the fact that it was a student-led initiative. Several years ago, some leaders in student government got some information from the student body that said, hey, that our current recreation space doesn't match the growing and thriving nature of our student body. So they went to state government, they lobbied for it, they did research, and they were able to secure the funding through private donations, but then also state funds, and make this building become a reality. The final point I'll mention on this slide here that I think it really captures a lot of the different change that's happened here on our campus overall was the invitation that we got to join the Atlantic Coast Conference this coming academic year. Now, a lot of people, when they hear the ACC or hear about universities, a lot of times the only time you hear about these schools is because of athletics. With that being said, before the ACC extended an invitation to us, they analyzed from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, every aspect of the university. So they looked at the quality of our freshman class, they looked at our retention rates, they looked at our academics, they looked at our research, they looked at our facilities, and then they also, of course, looked at the athletic component, which we have a rich tradition there and a winning tradition. And they decided, you know what, the University of Louisville, they would be really great company to have in our already prestigious academic and athletic conference. So we're joining the likes of Duke, UNC, North Carolina, Florida State, Clemson, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, some very outstanding institutions, top to bottom, and institutionally as a whole. Those are wonderful places, and we're very excited to be considered a peer with those other universities. So moving on from our thriving campus life, the next component or reason why I think you should consider the University of Louisville for visiting and for your future school of choice is the academic and research work that we have going on campus. As you can see, we have a large number of different academic areas of study. I would say probably the areas that we're most recognized for within the region and also nationally, and in some cases internationally, would be our engineering school, also our School of Business, and really anything pertaining to the health sciences. So we have School of Medicine, a School of Dentistry, great nursing and dental hygiene programs. These are some of our marquee areas. We also have a wonderful School of Education, a School of Music, and School of Arts and Sciences, just to name a couple. And really wonderful faculty in all of these areas. The University of Louisville, it is a research institution, so part of our responsibility to our state and our region and the country is to have the best faculty here that are creating new knowledge, creating new research, and really making citizens of this area and the world a better place. And where could you find or think of a better place to come and learn than from folks who are creating new knowledge in their respective areas of study and expertise. Kind of going back to the research component that I just mentioned, a couple examples that I think are really neat that have been in the news and the media recently. We have a researcher, well, a handful of researchers who have been able to reteach spinal cord and spinal nerves how to function again, essentially. So they've been working with a handful of patients who suffer from paralysis, either chest down or waist down from certain injuries where their spinal cord was severed, and through certain types of stimulation, they found that they can reteach the spinal cord. So these patients who were told they were never going to walk again, they were never going to have bladder function again, they were never going to be able to even stand again, are now able to do those things, which is really neat. So that group of researchers are in the process of trying to replicate their results with those 4 clinical studies with an additional 4, and then from there they're going to continue to grow that treatment to try and impact the 6 million people roughly that suffer from some sort of paralysis. I know another way that our academics and research are thriving in a statistic and piece of information that I think reflects that is the number of Fulbright winners that we've had over the past decade. So if you're unfamiliar, the Fulbright is a prestigious, say, international exchange award and scholarship that's given through the United States Department of State. It was started about 50 years ago as a way for the best and brightest young citizens of the United States to go out to foreign countries and either do research or teach English and to serve as ambassadors of goodwill of the United States. This number of 70 outpaces some of the best institutions in the country. And I don't show you this number because of the number itself, but rather to demonstrate that our students who come here can compete at the highest level for Rhodes scholarships, for Fulbrights, for Goldwaters, for Truman scholarships. And they have the resources and infrastructure and support here to put together packages and an academic and extracurricular experience that compares or exceeds some of the other places in the country. Finally, the last thing I'll mention on this slide is we recently wrapped up a very, very, very exciting 3, 4, 5 years of a $1 billion capital fundraising campaign. And the picture at the bottom right of the screen is from that announcement. It was just, I believe it was last week, but we announced that we'd hit the 1 billion mark, and we're still going hard. So the reason why I wanted to put this up here is there are only about 50 schools in the entire country that have completed or that are even attempting a $1 billion fundraising campaign. And I think this really shows the commitment that the university and the administration have to continuing our upward trajectory, and the commitment that they have to student scholarships. That's where some of this money is going, to research, to bringing in great faculty, in the midst of really tough times for public universities because of funding cuts. Moving on from the thriving academics and research, the final piece here, I believe, is kind of the take-home point, or maybe the most important. So, as I said earlier, our goal for students is for them to come in, to thrive while they're here, to be successful in everything that they begin. And then ultimately, we want them to go out to get into their graduate programs of choice, to be able to land that first job. However, something that we found is with new grads, employers are looking for students to have experience while they're students here, through co-ops, through internships, through research, so on and so forth, so they can come in right away into companies or into schools or into their graduate research programs and understand how their field works, so they can come in right away and make an impact. Earlier I talked about the city of Louisville, and this is, I believe, we're being in a city such as Louisville that has a lot of great opportunity, but that isn't so large that those things are inaccessible, really can come into play and benefit our students. About 10 years ago, the university put in a strategic plan called Ideas to Action to better support and implement a standardized infrastructure to help students connect the theory that they're learning in the classroom to real-world experiences, so they can go out and impact the world and to be able to make sense of the things that they're learning in the classroom. One of the main initiatives within Ideas to Action was creating a across-the-board culminating senior experience that that was applicable in every area of study. So what the culminating senior degree experience looks like is well, it's relevant to each student's major, but what it does is allow students to connect that classroom work with real world work. So it's either going to be an internship, a co-op, a research project. So if you're a biology major, or chemistry or psychology, doing some type of research or clinical experience may be more relevant for you than, say, a co-op or an internship. If you're a business student or an engineering student, you're going to be out in the field, out in your field, getting some first-hand experience. It's called a culminating senior experience, but in some cases it starts as early as your sophomore year, your junior year. For example, with education, we have students in the classroom their very first semester, having them shadow, getting them experience and exposed to the environment that they're going to be working in, because that's valuable. That's valuable. Also, the final thing that I'll mention is we have a great career development center here. It works with students on the interview process, their resumes. They do mock interviews with them. So if you know that you're going in for a job interview here soon, or you're just applying to jobs, they can help you with that process. Also, something that I'll say here is once you get to your junior and senior year, you also have a faculty advisor who is more or less an expert in their field of study and can help connect you with those internship and culminating senior experiences. So your academic departments help facilitate that process. Really, the take-home point from this is that here at U of L we have a specific infrastructure within every department to make sure that students get some sort of culminating experience. All right, so what we're going to do now is we've worked with a couple former Cardinals to essentially send us selfies, is what we had them do. One is still here in Louisville. His name is Will Pack, and Will is graduating just a couple weeks from now with an engineering degree, and I believe he's going to Texas for his first job. So he'll tell you a little bit about his experiences as a U of L student and the things that he found extremely helpful here at U of L for his future success. Excuse me, I'm just talking in presentations. The other young alum that you'll hear from is Sam Jones. He graduated, I believe, 3 years ago, and he's now a practicing attorney in the state of Kentucky. So I'm going to go on over to those videos, give you a chance to get to know Will and Sam a little bit, and have them tell you a little bit about their experiences as Cardinals, and then from there we'll move on to take questions and wrap up our presentation.
Well, good afternoon, America, and welcome to the University of Louisville webinar series for this month. Hi, my name is Sam Jones. I'm from Paducah, Kentucky, and I'm an alumni of the University of Louisville. I graduated back in 2010 with a Bachelor's of Science in Political Science and minors in both Spanish and Economics. I went on to attend law school and am currently a practicing attorney in the state of Kentucky. Now, I understand that many of you are making that decision about where you want to attend college. It's tough, it's tricky, but no worries. Hopefully I can provide some insights as to why I decided to attend the Ville. Now, my sister actually attended the University of Louisville